A document from President Vladimir Putin's executive office that was obtained by a group of European journalists from publications across the continent claims that Russia intends to annex its ally and neighbor Belarus by the year 2030. Hello and welcome back to your favorite channel. Give the video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel if you think it adds value. The internal strategy document outlines Russia's years-long plan to eliminate what little of Belarus independence remains. This would entail gradually boosting pro-Russia sentiment, increasing Russia's military presence there, and facilitating the issuance of Russian passports to locals. The ultimate objective, it stated, is to establish a common union state that is governed by Russia. Several media outlets, including Yahoo News, the Swedish Expressen newspaper, the Süddeutsche Zeitung newspaper in Germany, and the Kyiv Independent newspaper in Ukraine, were able to obtain the document. It was published in late 2021, according to Yahoo News, which also noted that there are no indications that Russia's strategy has since changed. It's unclear whether Russia's invasion of Ukraine has affected the strategy in any way. Alexander Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, is regarded as one of Putin's closest allies, and the country is already perceived as a puppet of Russia. However, the plans outlined in the document would more formally bind Belarus to Russia and eliminate any indications of its current independence. The plan of Russia is laid out in the document's timeline. By 2022, it calls for the development of pro-Russian sentiments in the political and military elites and the populace, as well as limiting the influence of nationalist and pro-Western forces in Belarus, and changes to Belarus' constitution to make it more pro-Russian. On this, Belarus has advanced. A referendum held in February 2022 removed the nation's non-nuclear status. The vote was viewed as a sham by the West and a concession to Putin. Both before and during its invasion of Ukraine, which began in February 2022, Russia increased its military presence in the nation. Belarus' army might eventually join Russia's conflict, which worries Ukraine and the West. According to the document, Belarusian citizens should be able to obtain Russian passports more easily by 2025, and there should be sustainable pro-Russian groups of influence in Belarusian politics, military, and business, according to Yahoo News. Additionally, it stated that by 2030, Russia should have control of the information space in Belarus. This approach is consistent with what Russia is doing in Ukraine. Russia has worked to eradicate all traces of Ukrainian culture and life in the areas of Ukraine that it has annexed. Some examples include the use of Russian money and passports, the replacement of Ukrainian politicians with allies of Russia, and the removal of Ukrainian textbooks. Russia has similar objectives for Belarus and Ukraine, according to Michael Carpenter, the U.S. ambassador to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, who spoke to Yahoo News. It uses coercion instead of war only in Belarus. Wholesale incorporation remains the end goal, he continued. According to Svetlana Tsikhanouskaya, the head of the opposition in Belarus, who is currently living in exile in Lithuania, the Union State is a threat for the Belarusian people and Belarusian statehood. Additionally, she said, it is not an equal union. It is a plan for Russia to take over Belarus. Controlled information. In addition to full cultural, informational, and scientific unification, the Russian document calls for the establishment of science and culture centers, as well as branches of Russian universities in Belarus. Here, the plan is clear and calls for the opening of representatives in Vitebsk, Mogilev, and Grodno. By controlling the information space and establishing Russian as the dominant language in Belarus by the year 2030, Russia hopes to have completely Russified its neighbor. How can the society of Belarus be made more welcoming? By using propaganda, which is defined as the promotion in the media and society of attitudes about the benefits of cultural, economic, and political integration with the Russian Federation as the only opportunity to preserve the sovereignty of Belarus against the backdrop of the aggressive expansion of the United States, Europe, and China. Phone call to Putin. The head of the opposition in Belarus, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, is adamant that the union state that currently exists between Russia and Belarus poses a threat to the Belarusian people and their statehood. It is not a union of equals, rather, it is a plan for Russia to absorb Belarus. Russia uses the union state as a front to take control of Belarus. Belarus is under a hybrid occupation by Russia in all spheres: political, economic, military, and informational. It appears that Lukashenko only makes decisions about repressions anymore. Lukashenko emphasizes that the two nations are allies almost always. Despite persistent pressure from Putin, he has reportedly been noticeably reluctant to ratify that alliance by sending his own soldiers into Ukraine. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you found the video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We will keep you updated. Stay tuned.